Okay guys, so today we are going to solve equations. We're only going to really look at one-step equations. So we can fill this I can statement in. I can solve a one-step equation. The goal with this is to isolate your variable. Remember, variable is just the math way of saying letter. We're trying to get our letter all by itself. In order to do that, you have to think about the opposite operation, okay? So remember, the opposite of addition would be subtraction. The opposite of subtraction would be addition. The opposite of multiplication would be division, and if they gave you division, the opposite of that would be multiplication. So if I look at example 1, I have m plus 12 equals 10. So I have to think, okay, what's the opposite of adding 12? Well, the opposite would be to subtract 12. And if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other side. So row 2 is going to be m plus 12 minus 12 equals 10 minus 12. Now thinking back to your combining like terms, we would want to simplify this. 12 minus 12 is going to cancel and leave you with just m, and 10 minus 12 gives me a -2. So that would be my answer. If you're ever questioning whether you did this right, plug in your answer into your original problem and see, does it give you what they said it should equal? If I plug -2 in, -2 plus 12 equals 10. So I did it right. I know I'm good. Okay? It's okay if they give you the letter on the right-hand side. It can be on whatever side they want to. But if I look at example 2, I notice that G is subtracting 9. So the opposite operation of subtraction would be to add. So in order to get that -9 to cancel out and get G all by itself, I would want to add 9 to both sides. So -2 plus 9 equals G minus 9 plus 9. If I simplify this down, -2 plus 9 gives me 7. And on that right-hand side, -9 plus 9 cancels, so G is equal to 7. You could also check that and say, okay, I don't know if I did it right. I'm going to plug 7 in for G and see. Does -2 equal 7 minus 9? Well, -2 does equal -2. I did it right. Anytime you see your number and your letter side by side, nothing is in between them, that is multiplication. So the opposite multiplication would be division. And you're always going to divide by the number in front of your letter. So in order to get that -7 to cancel out, I have to divide both sides by the -7. So -7 divided by -7 simplifies down to 1y. The 1, you don't have to write it, so we're good. We've got y all by itself. -91 divided by -7 is 13. And you could check, does -7 times 13 give me -91? Well, -91 does equal -91, so we are good. Example 4 is division, because you have your fraction, so that opposite operation would be multiplication. So I'm going to multiply by that number that's in my denominator because I'm trying to get that to cancel out. So I'm just going to come over here and say b divided by 9 equals -4. I got to multiply both sides by that 9. Those will cancel and leave me with b, and negative 4 times 9 gives me a negative 36. And you could even check that. Does negative 36 divided by 9 give me negative 4? Yes. All right. Another scenario that they could see is if you have a fraction in front of your variable. In order to get that fraction to cancel out, you're going to have to multiply both sides by your reciprocal. And reciprocal just means that you're flipping your fraction. Okay, so in that example number 5, we have 2/3. In order to get that to cancel out, my reciprocal would have to be 3/2. So I want to multiply both sides by 3/2. And think about when you multiply fractions. You're multiplying your numerators together, you're multiplying your denominators together. So if I did 3 times 2, that would give me 6. And if I did 2 times 3, that gives me 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1x, which is what we want. We only want one of them. And then I have to do the same thing on the other side. 10 times 3 gives me 30. This 10 has a denominator of 1 if it's not there. 1 times 2 is 2. 30 divided by 2 can simplify down. It would be 15. So x equals 15 in this case. The sign doesn't matter. Like in example 6, we have a negative fraction. You're still going to just flip that fraction. So you would multiply both sides by 5 over negative 6. All right, so when I do that, my fraction cancels and leaves me with 1k. It'll simplify down. 12 times 5 gives me 60. 1 times negative 6 gives me a negative 6, and I can simplify that down to negative 10. So k equals negative 10 is my final answer. Okay, so just think about when you're solving, you need to do the opposite operation to both sides.